My 600-pound life gave us stories we couldn't forget. From heartbreaking struggles to incredible transformations, every episode pulled us in. We saw real people fighting for a second chance at life, and many inspired us with their strength and courage. But behind the scenes, not every story had a happy ending. Some of the show's most loved stars faced battles that didn't end after the cameras stopped rolling. And sadly, some of them are no longer with us. Their stories touched millions, and their loss left fans heartbroken. Join us as we remember the journey of some unforgettable My 600-Pound Life stars who tragically passed away. Latonia Potain. Latonia Potain appeared on Season 11 of My 600-Pound Life when she was about 37 years old and weighed around 632 pounds. Her story stood out because she turned to weight as comfort after tough times. She lost her mom at 12, was on her own by 15, and that left a deep mark. On the show, she said simply, "Food is like my best friend. When I eat, it takes the stress away." Latonia tried hard. She hired a trainer and worked on losing weight. She dropped from 531 to 505 pounds at one point. Dr. Now, the show's doctor, was worried about her heart and urged her to change her habits fast. Unfortunately, she struggled to stay with the plan. Her weight even went up during check-ins. Dr. Now said he could no longer continue treating her due to lack of progress. Later, Latonia's health got worse. By early 2025, she was bedridden. Sciatica and other severe issues left her unable to move. She shared a heartfelt GoFundMe message. "I am reaching out for help during the most challenging time of my life. I currently weigh about 705 pounds and have been bedridden since June 2024. She posted online, "Y'all pray for me, my heart not working right. And there is nothing more the doctors can do here in Louisiana. Please keep me lifted." On May 17, 2025, Latonia passed away at Christus Highland Medical Center in Shreveport, Louisiana. That morning, family visited her at home. They saw she was struggling to breathe and looking unwell. She called an ambulance after going into cardiac arrest and died shortly after arriving at the hospital. A preliminary autopsy showed the cause of death was congestive heart failure, also described as acute on chronic congestive heart failure, with more investigations still underway. Latonia faced poverty, grief, backlash after the show, and severe mental health struggles. Yet she gave back. She founded a group home for young girls who, like her, had lost parents or felt unloved. Larry Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits Meyers Jr. Larry Meyers Jr., best known as Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits, became a familiar face to fans when he appeared on My 600-Pound Life in early 2022. At the time, he weighed around 940 pounds and was almost completely bedridden. But what truly made him stand out wasn't just his size, it was his vibrant personality, deep love for gospel music, and that unforgettable viral moment where he happily sang about buttermilk biscuits while eating. That moment earned him a nickname that stuck, and a place in the hearts of viewers across the country. Music was a huge part of Larry's life. He had been singing in churches since childhood and even performed at the Apollo Theater. He used music as a way to spread joy, heal, and stay connected to his faith. But behind the laughter and singing, Larry was open about the pain he carried. On the show, he admitted that cooking and eating were some of the few things that made him feel happy. He said most of his thoughts were morbidly depressing, showing just how much he struggled mentally and emotionally. Years before joining the show, Larry had actually lost a significant amount of weight, over 600 pounds, after undergoing weight loss surgery in 2015. But after the heartbreaking deaths of his mother and nephew, he began turning to food again for comfort. By the time he came to Dr. Now, he had gained much of the weight back. During his episode, he worked hard and managed to lose around 100 pounds, with the goal of qualifying for another surgery to help continue his journey. After the show aired, Larry kept his followers updated through social media. He posted videos of himself boxing, eating healthier meals, and staying motivated. He even started his own YouTube series called The Buttermilk Biscuit Show. He also spoke on radio shows about his challenges with binge eating and depression, showing fans he was still fighting to turn his life around. Sadly, Larry passed away on June 13, 2023, just 3 days after his 49th birthday. Reports said he died of a heart attack at his home in Houston. His family and fans mourned the loss deeply. Gina Crasley. Gina Crasley appeared in Season 8 of My 600-Pound Life, and from the very start, she made it clear that she wasn't just there to lose weight, she wanted her life back. At the time, Gina weighed over 600 pounds and was dealing with major health problems. But what truly set her apart wasn't just her struggle, it was her spirit. Gina loved to dance. She always believed that dance wasn't just for thin people. In her eyes, dance was for anyone who felt the rhythm in their soul, no matter their size. On the show, Gina opened up about her tough childhood and emotional eating. Her story was raw and relatable. She admitted that food was her comfort, but it also became her prison. Gina had a lot of emotional pain, and it showed in her health. Still, she tried. She made efforts to eat better and move more. At one point, she even shared that she wanted to open a dance studio for kids with special needs. That was her dream. She didn't just want to change her own life, she wanted to help others too. Even after her time on the show ended, Gina stayed active online. She started a trend on TikTok called Dancing Has No Size Limit, where she posted videos of herself dancing and encouraged others to do the same. Her videos inspired people from all walks of life. She was telling the world, you don't have to be thin to be joyful. But behind the dancing videos and positivity, Gina was still suffering. In her final months, she talked about health problems that made it hard for her to walk or feel her hands. She had an infection and was in and out of care. Still, she kept posting and tried to remain strong. One day, she showed a keychain that read, "You are braver than you believe, stronger than you think, more beautiful than you imagine." That summed her up perfectly. Gina passed away in August 2024, at just 30 years old. She died at home in New Jersey, surrounded by her loved ones. Her official cause of death was never made public, but many believe it was due to complications related to her weight and health. Destiny Lashai. Destiny Lashai didn't just join My 600-Pound Life, she made history. In Season 7, which aired in 2019, she became the first transgender woman ever featured on the show. Her story was powerful, not just because of her weight, but because of the emotional pain she carried and the courage it took to share it. Destiny was almost 700 pounds when she started filming. But what made her story different was how open she was about her mental health, her gender identity, and how food had become a way to numb her deep sadness. Destiny's life was far from easy. She struggled with depression and often felt alone. She admitted that food became her escape, but it was also destroying her. On the show, she said, "Food is the only thing I can turn to escape my depression and pain." It was a heartbreaking truth that many viewers could relate to. But despite everything, Destiny didn't give up. She worked hard, followed Dr. Now's plan, and ended up losing over 500 pounds. Her transformation was one of the most dramatic ever shown on the series. Outside of the show, Destiny became a voice for people struggling with identity and self-acceptance. She used her social media to encourage others to love themselves and keep fighting. Many fans looked up to her because she was real. She talked about her scars, her struggles, and how hard it was just to get out of bed some days. But even in her darkest times, she tried to lift others up. In February 2022, Destiny sadly passed away at just 31 years old. Her death shocked fans. Her brother, Wayne Compton, shared the sad news in a deeply emotional Facebook post. He wrote, "I accept you for who you are. I'm sorry you felt alone. I'm sorry you felt you had nobody else to turn to." His words showed how much Destiny was loved, even if she didn't always feel it. No official cause of death was given, but it's believed that her passing was related to her mental health struggles. She showed great strength and opened doors for so many people like her. She was bold, beautiful, and brave, and while her time here was short, her impact was lasting. James King. James King's story was first shown in Season 5 of My 600-Pound Life. At the time, he weighed almost 800 pounds and was dealing with serious health issues. His journey was hard from the very beginning. He struggled with food addiction, but he also had a big heart. He wanted to be healthy again, not just for himself, but for his wife, kids, and grandkids. He had a large family and loved them deeply. James grew up in Kentucky and went through a lot as a child. His mother passed away, and on the day of her funeral, their home burned down. This kind of trauma leaves lasting pain. He admitted that food became a comfort to him. He once said he ate every chance he got, just to feel better. It was his way of dealing with loss and stress. During the show, Dr. Now tried to help James lose weight and qualify for surgery. But James struggled to follow the plan. His health continued to get worse, and at one point, he developed liver and kidney problems. Dr. Now eventually stopped treating him because he had gained weight instead of losing it. Still, James never stopped trying. He wanted to change. He wanted to live longer for his loved ones. In April 2020, James passed away at the age of 49. He died in a hospital in Nashville. His exact cause of death was not shared, but many believe it was related to the long-term damage caused by his health issues. TLC released a statement saying they were deeply saddened by his passing. Fans also shared messages of love, remembering James for his honesty and the effort he put into his journey. James may not have reached his weight loss goal, but he was still a brave man. He opened his life to the world, showing both his struggles and his hope. James L.B. Bonner. James L.B. Bonner's journey on My 600-Pound Life started in Season 6, and it quickly became one of the most powerful and emotional stories in the show's history. At just 29 years old, L.B. weighed over 650 pounds and was carrying much more than just physical weight. In 2013, his life changed forever after a car accident took his right leg. The trauma left deep emotional scars. He turned to food and alcohol to cope with the pain, and over time, he became severely overweight and isolated. When he joined the show, LB was honest about his struggles. He didn't try to hide the truth. He opened up about his depression and the feelings of being lost in a body he no longer recognized. But instead of giving up, he made the choice to fight. With Dr. Now's program, he changed his eating habits, exercised, and worked hard on his mental health. During filming, he got sober, underwent lap band surgery, and lost more than 400 pounds. He reached the 200-pound range, a huge victory. Fans praised his progress and his positive energy. TLC called him a fan favorite because of his spirit and determination. Off-camera, LB used social media to connect with others. He often posted funny, hopeful, and motivational messages. In one post he wrote, "I wouldn't trade this amazing journey I'm on for anything." His hashtags like #chunky and funky made people smile. He encouraged others to believe in themselves. But as time passed, signs of deep sadness began to show again. On August 2, 2018, LB shared a final Facebook post. In it, he wrote, "I've realized a few things over the last few days, and it's time that I face my demons head-on. Please don't ever let people you care about not know how you feel." Just hours later, he was found dead near his home in Lexington County, South Carolina. He had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The coroner's report confirmed it was suicide. He was only 30 years old. TLC released a statement saying they were heartbroken and expressed condolences to his family. Fans were shocked. He had helped so many, but inside, he was still struggling. His death reminded everyone that weight loss does not fix everything. Mental health matters too. LB's family later filed a lawsuit, saying he wasn't given enough mental health support after filming. Whether or not that's true, the fact remains. LB was strong, brave, and full of love, but he needed more help. His story now stands as a powerful message about the importance of kindness, understanding, and treating mental illness with the same urgency as any other health issue. Shaun Milikin. When Shaun Milikin first appeared on My 600-Pound Life in Season 4, he weighed over 900 pounds, making him one of the heaviest people ever featured on the show. But behind that number was a young man full of pain, grief, and heart. Shaun's struggles began early. His parents divorced when he was just 10 years old, and he blamed himself for the family breaking apart. By the time the divorce was final, Shaun already weighed 150 pounds. He later said, "I felt like my family had fallen apart because of me, so I kept going to food to deal with those feelings." He also had a tense relationship with his father and spoke about verbal abuse. He said food gave him comfort when nothing else did. "I would eat and suddenly I felt a lot better. In that moment, nothing else mattered." A leg injury in high school left Shaun bedridden, and that's when his weight skyrocketed. When he started filming the show, he could barely stand for 30 seconds. But even through pain, he had a goal. He moved to Houston with his mother, Renee, to work with Dr. Now. With strict dieting, hard effort, and support, Shaun lost over 400 pounds. For a while, things were looking up, but his journey was not simple. His mother often enabled him, reportedly feeding him unhealthy food and encouraging him to ignore medical advice. After progress, he gained weight again, at one point adding over 250 pounds in 2 months. His weight eventually peaked at over 1,000 pounds. Despite setbacks, Shaun kept going. He reappeared on a follow-up episode of My 600-Pound Life. Where are they now? In 2018, but life had already hit him hard. His mother, who had always been by his side, died from kidney failure. Shaun was devastated. "She passed away a couple weeks ago, and I'm devastated. I don't know what to do now, because my mom was everything to me," he said. That same year, Hurricane Harvey flooded his apartment, and he lost most of his belongings. With his health fragile, his heart broken, and his support system gone, Shaun's emotional pain deepened. In February 2019, Shaun was admitted to the hospital due to an infection. His father, Matt Milliken, wrote that Shaun had trouble breathing on a Sunday. Doctors were able to resuscitate him, but shortly after, his heart stopped. He died from cardiac arrest caused by infection. He was just 29 years old. TLC later released a statement saying they were saddened by his passing and sent their thoughts to his family. Shaun became the third star from the show to die within 6 months, following James L.B. Bonner and Lisa Fleming. Shaun was quiet, private, and often misunderstood. A neighbor once said, "He was extremely funny, artistic, and kind." Even with all he faced, Shaun kept trying. He didn't give up, and that courage deserves to be remembered. His journey shows how emotional pain and physical illness often go hand in hand. Shaun Milikin didn't just fight against his weight. He fought for a chance to live a full, peaceful life. And that fight mattered. Lisa Fleming. Lisa Fleming, known to viewers of My 600-Pound Life as a deeply moving voice for the forgotten, appeared in Season 6 at age 49. She weighed over 700 pounds when she started, and her health had deteriorated to a frightening level. She was confined to her bed, so much so that 7 paramedics were needed to lift her out when she began her treatment. In her episode, one heartbreaking moment stood out. She revealed that she had discovered maggots in the folds of her skin. That became her turning point. It drove her to ask for help, to believe she still mattered. Lisa's struggle began early in life. She turned to food for comfort after family traumas, including witnessing her brother's murder. And she used eating to soothe old hurts. Over time, her body rebelled, and she could no longer move. Her mom had also passed from obesity-related illness, and Lisa ended up sleeping in the same bed where her mother once lay. That history made her journey feel all the more tragic, and yet more determined. With Dr. Now's program, Lisa set out to get healthier. She began losing weight. On the show, her progress was hampered by setbacks, but after filming, she continued her fight. She underwent weight loss surgery and lost about 200 pounds. For the first time in years, she was able to stand on her own. She regained a small measure of independence and deserved pride. But healing wasn't enough to save her. In August 2018, Lisa passed away at age 50, surrounded by love but overtaken by illness. Her daughter, Danielle, shared a heartbreaking message online. "God knows I wanted you to hold on until I got here. I sat and held your hand for 4 hours." She made clear that Lisa's death was not tied to weight. To the contrary, Danielle said her mother had been sick before she joined the show, and her body just gave out. TLC's statement echoed the community's grief. The network was deeply saddened by her passing and extended sympathy to her family. Robert Buchel joined My 600-Pound Life in Season 6, presented with hope and determination. He weighed about 842 pounds and knew that he could not go on like that. He was completely immobile, suffering from terrible swelling and lymphedema. The emotional toll was enormous. To carry all this weight is physically draining, mentally, emotionally taxing, he admitted on the show. He spoke with honesty that resonated deeply. His fiancée, Catherine, stood by him, caring for him day and night with unwavering love. Robert made significant progress. In his first month, he lost 124 pounds, and a surgery to remove a large lymphedema mass lowered his weight even more. Over the next few months, his total weight loss reached around 340 pounds. The transformation seemed promising, but the challenges ran deeper. He struggled with painkiller dependency after surgery, which made it harder to stick to his routine. His emotional wounds, loss, trauma from childhood, and a sense of helplessness were buried but not healed. Dr. Now tried to help, but the path was steep. Then, in November 2017, as filming continued, tragedy struck. Robert suffered a heart attack and died at just 41 years old at a hospital in Houston. He passed away before he could finish his journey or live the dreams he had for a healthier life. Catherine, his fiancée, shared a moment that haunts the story. He told her, "I don't think I'll make it through the night. I love you, and I always will." That simple, love-filled statement became a painful echo after his death. That death sparked deep grief. Catherine was slammed with online hate and rumors, some accusing her of wrongdoing. Fans speculated, even spreading false claims that she had some responsibility. But many voices also rose to support her, clarifying the cruelty of the attacks and insisting she was a devoted partner. Even in her sorrow, she spoke out, courageously fighting back against the harassment while grieving. His story just goes to show that healing must reach beyond physical change. Even dramatic weight loss cannot fix wounds of addiction, trauma, and emotional pain. His passing is a call to acknowledge that real care must include mental health support, kindness, and community, not just surgery. He showed the world what it means to keep trying, even when the road feels impossible. And the love he inspired in Catherine and in viewers speaks to the power of human connection. He will be remembered not for weight, but for his effort, his heart, and the love he shared. Kelly Mason. Kelly Mason's journey on My 600-Pound Life began in Season 7. At 41 years old and weighing over 725 pounds, Kelly traveled to Houston in hopes of changing her life. She was living almost entirely in bed and had been hospitalized for shortness of breath and congestive heart failure. Her body was struggling. She told the camera, "This could be my last breath, but I don't want to die." Those words showed how much she knew was at stake and how much she was fighting for herself. Immediately, Dr. Now took her health seriously. He admitted her to the hospital, and her work began. She zealously followed the plan: strict diet, therapy, and medical care. Within weeks, she had lost 220 pounds, enough to qualify for weight loss surgery. After that, she dropped another 100 pounds, reaching 383 pounds. The progress was astonishing. Kelly's face lit up in one moment as she said, "It feels like the first day of a new life, actually." She had turned a page. Her joy felt fragile, though, because her body had been through so much already. She had diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid issues, arthritis, blood clots, and a pulmonary embolism. Each of these medical battles made her heart weary. And even though she was improving, reality couldn't instantly catch up. Then tragedy struck. In February 2019, just a few days before she turned 42, Kelly passed away in her sleep from cardiac arrest. This happened while she was still filming. Dr. Now later clarified that her death wasn't due to slipping back into old habits. Her weight loss was on track. Instead, he said the real enemy was the damage her heart had already suffered. Despite all her effort, her body just couldn't endure the fight any longer. Fans and the show felt the blow deeply. Kelly became the second participant to die during filming, after Robert Buchel. Messages poured in: prayers, tears, words of kindness for her family. Kelly's courage to open her heart and share her journey reminded us all how fragile we can be, and yet how brave we can fight. Khalisa McMillion. Khalisa McMillion's story unfolded in Season 8. When she appeared on the show in March 2020, she was 41 years old and weighed 643 pounds. As a mother of 4, she carried not only physical weight but emotional burdens too. Khalisa had already suffered a heart attack at 39. At that time, she was too heavy to operate on, and doctors warned her heart was a ticking time bomb. "Living like this is not living," she said. Food had become an enemy and a lifeline. Dr. Now didn't hesitate. He saw that her health was dire, so he made an unusual decision. He performed surgery right away, rather than waiting for more weight loss. For a moment, it was working. She started to lose weight, but surgical risks loomed. She hemorrhaged, went into sepsis, spent weeks in the ICU, and was on life support. Her family updated fans with hope, saying she was stabilizing. But life had other plans. Then in September 2020, Khalisa passed away at just 41 years old. The family's support page said she had suffered health problems after surgery. A Facebook update simply noted, "She sadly passed away from this life." While the official cause of death wasn't publicly listed, other reports pointed to complications from her weight loss surgery, including kidney failure, sepsis, and unresolved trauma from surgery. Her episode was even removed from TLC's streaming platform, adding to the quiet sorrow around her passing. Khalisa's life was full of love and heartbreak. She had lost her fiancé in a car crash before filming. Food became her safety net. She faced a storm of complications, and even a rare second surgery couldn't save her. TLC's statement expressed deep sadness and shared condolences with her family. She showed viewers the raw edges of health and grief, and the human cost of transformation. Which of these stories touched you the most, and why? And do you think mental health support should be a bigger part of weight loss journeys like these? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from Hollywood's fascinating history. See you next time!